from the Ticats Audio Network. This is Ticats Today with Louie B.
Yes, it is Ticats Today for a Thursday, June the 9th, 2022. Thanks for checking us out on the Ticats Audio Network. Really appreciate it. And as always, you can like and subscribe to the Ticats Audio Network. You can leave a review and make sure you never miss an episode. So thanks for checking us out. Right away, big news today from the Hamilton Ticats. They've unveiled a third jersey. Yes, an alternate jersey, and we're going to get right into it right now, as I'm very pleased to be joined by the president and COO of the Hamilton Ticats. That's Matt Afinec. And Matt, I mean, this is so much more than just a third jersey. It's an exciting day for the Ticats. Tell us a little bit about today's news.
Thanks for having me, Louie. Great to see you. And I think it's very significant, but today is also the great city of Hamilton's birthday. And one of the reasons why, the decision to launch what we've done today on this day is to symbolize today is the great city of Hamilton's civic birthday, June 9th. So, yeah, to your point, we've unveiled, some work that's been, frankly, years in the making, bringing this all together. And that's about, kind of launching an alternative logo for a very historical franchise. One that is intentional in terms of what it's about. It's about inspiring to celebrate the connection of the city of Hamilton, the club's connection to the city, and the fans of this team who call this city home now or at some point in their past. Because what the Hammer brand and the Hammer brand identification, that obviously will be highlighted by the team wearing these awesome alternate jerseys on a few occasions this season, is meant to showcase is that incredible connection between the city of Hamilton, this club, and the fans that support both and call this great city home. I said earlier, it's June 9th. Hamilton's civic birthday ties back to 1846. A lot of fans would know this, some won't. The Ticat birth date is in 1869. So if you actually think about the connection between a city and a sports franchise, in terms of historical significance, I'm not sure there's many that have more of that historical significance than the Ticats and the city of Hamilton, dating back to 1846 and 1869. So we felt the time was right to call upon that to really harness the civic pride that exists in our community right now, and the role the Ticats play in representing the great city of Hamilton, both regionally, nationally, and internationally.
How did the city inspire the jersey, the brand? How was, I'm sure there were a lot of people who worked behind the scenes for a long time to get this right, but how was the city and how was the team inspired by the city for this jersey?
Well, I think in a few ways, first is the color. We've called it Hamilton Steel. Obviously the colors of the franchise are synonymous, black and gold. You see that come through both in the numbers and nameplate in terms of having both black and gold iteration, and then this alternate logo that we speak to that's on both shoulders and obviously as well on the player's helmet in terms of what they're going to wear on the field for these game days. It's an H by design. You can see the negative space incorporates actual hammers to support that positioning and that positioning of the hammer. Listen, we live in a time where I think, and we saw this with last year's Grey Cup Festival, where the civic pride of being from and living in and having an association with Hamilton, and in my opinion, has never been higher. And we as a club wanted to celebrate that great pride of representing Hamilton and weave that into the fabric of what this thing was about, and have the subtleties of what makes the Ticat brand and being a Ticat fan, black and gold, leaping tigers, still be a part of what we're trying to accomplish here, but make that secondary to the things that we think are synonymous with the city in terms of the colors, the H, and blend those two things together.
This isn't just a one-off. We're wearing a third jersey, a promotional jersey. Is it? This is something that's going to be part of the Ticats moving forward.
Yeah, for sure. And we've identified here in 2022. And listen, part of this, traces back to our great partnership with New Era. That's a league-wide partnership and one that we have in place for years to come. So this is a concept that we hope carries forward into the seasons to come. This isn't kind of like a one and done, but to your point, it transcends just what the players are wearing on the field. Now that's obviously the most important. It's the most high visible, but this brand, this logo, this color scheme will extend, across frankly every platform we have in terms of the graphics and video and content that you'll see leading into game days. And in the stadium at Tim Hortons Field on those designated game days, you'll see a full retail collection ranging from hats and t-shirts to cold weather gear as the fall arrives. And that retail stuff is available immediately here as of launch. You can go to the Ticats shop or shop.ticats.ca and see the summer goods, hats, t-shirts, and obviously the jerseys the players are wearing on the field. Those are all available right now. So I have referenced the games. We've identified July 1st as our first game to wear these, and then one in the fall, October 21st. Those are the two that we're absolutely committed to. We'll see if this shows up again. We'll be to be determined. But July 1st is a significant one. Obviously, July 1st being Canada Day, and with the inspiration of this whole concept being around celebrating a great Canadian city in the city of Hamilton, we felt it was a nice synergy there to wear these for the first time for our Canada Day game against Edmonton. So looking forward to that.
You mentioned years in the making, and maybe that was intentional, maybe it wasn't, because our Cals are going to be here at this stadium in just a few short weeks, which highlights just a busy month, which has been a busy year here at Tim Hortons Field. Just real quick, touch on the excitement in this building. And it seems like every day there's a different crew coming in to really showcase this world-class city, like you said, but this facility too.
Well, yeah, it's world-class, a great positioning, Louie. Like Tim Hortons Field is just a phenomenal place to watch a live event, whether that's a soccer game. We saw that last weekend with the Canadian Championship with Forge and TFC, to concerts, to hockey, to Grey Cups, to the things that we've kind of seen swing through here over the last 11 months, in addition to our kind of core business of the Tiger Cats and the Forge. And I think that is a function of our market here. People here support big events. They support their teams. And I think that reputation is starting to be understood nationally and internationally. And listen, it's an awesome thing to see fans of different things. Fans of music might not be fans of soccer, but might not be fans of football. So just appealing to as wide a part of our community here to get down to the stadium to support events. I think that's a testament to the people and to the facility itself. And we're proud to be a very busy building right now and putting on a whole collection of different activity.
And of course, another big game circled on the calendar for late 2023 in the 110th Grey Cup. Matt, I know you're a very busy guy, and I know today is a very exciting day. So thanks so much for taking some time to chat with me today. Appreciate it.
Yeah, always a pleasure, Louie. Thank you.
That is Matt Afinec. He is the president and COO of the Hamilton Ticats, and my thanks to him for joining us and for all the new Ticats alternate jersey gear. You can go to ticats.ca and make sure you get your gray jersey, you get your black jersey, you get your gold jersey. Make sure you go out and get your gray jersey, is your Hamilton Steel jersey, as Matt called it, and it looks really sharp. Can't wait to see it on July 1st when the Hamilton Ticats take the field. All right, very pleased now to be joined by my friend Coach John Salavantis. And Coach Sal, the preseason is behind us, and we can finally say football counts. It counts in the standings, and it's for real, which is nice after a long, what it feels like, preseason.
Yeah, it's time to game plan now, Louie, and really there's so many things that have to happen in that 3-day stretch of practice, getting ready for Saskatchewan and having to travel on Friday of this week. For me, for example, special teams. I'm sure that Coach Butler in the special teams area, Coach Craig Butler, he was counting on some of those players who were released. So now he has to backfill and train new individuals in a short 3-day period. And that's very difficult to do. But that's one of the things that happens when you have to cut down your squad as they did.
I think the one thing going for that special teams group is Curtis Newton, and we've talked about him on this show. And a University of Guelph product. He's one of those guys that, like Courtney Stephen and like Mike Daly before him, he's a solid veteran presence and someone I'm sure Coach Butler appreciates having in that special teams room.
Yeah, those are the kind of guys you have to have. You have to have a captain of that special teams that understands every position on the special team and what their responsibilities are. And that brings you to the point, Louie, where mentally all players have to buy in. Each player, whether he's a backup, whether he's a starter, whether he's just a special teams player, they have to buy in now because, as you said in the beginning, everything is for real, and these points do count.
What's the biggest difference between what you were doing last week at training camp at McMaster and what you're doing this week at Tim Hortons Field?
Well, number one, there's an urgency about what you're doing this week because, as we said, there's a very short window, 3 days in which to get ready. And the players understand that. And so the practice time is sped up a little bit. They have to cover a lot of areas and they have to cover it very quickly in the time frame that they're allowed. So to me, what has to happen is the players have to start studying more and more than what they did in the time during training camp. Now, you have to be absolutely sure of your playbook. You've got to know what plays are going to be run on offense, what your design is on defense as a player, and where you fit into that role.
Steve Milton brought this up to me yesterday. He said Dane Evans didn't play the final 7 quarters of training camp. He played the first quarter of the first game. And this is coming off an oblique injury in 2021, a neck injury that took him out of the Grey Cup. Does that concern you at all that we didn't get to see Dane run this offense too much this preseason?
No, I don't think so, Louie. I think he'll be ready to play. He's got enough practice time, and he's had, all of the injury things looked at. He understands where he is in his position on the football field. He understands the offense very well. He and Tommy Condell coordinate very easily along those lines. So to me, I think you look around the league, Fajardo didn't play very much. Colares didn't play at all for Winnipeg. It's just a matter of the veteran guy has to take the reins now, and he has to be able to make everything work for him within his own way of doing things. So, no, I don't think it hurt him not to be involved in the preseason games.
Now, the Ticats are coming off back-to-back appearances in the Grey Cup. The last one losing in overtime. How much is that in the back of the players' minds that you can use for motivation, that you got to just leave in the past? I'm sure there needs to be some sort of balancing act of having that memory or those memories moving forward.
Well, you can't dwell on the past, obviously, because that's over with. But at the same time, the veterans have to have in their mind those guys that played in those games or the last game in the Grey Cup, that they don't want that taste again for another year. So their goal, and they talk about this goal in camp all the time, their number one goal is to get to the Grey Cup and win the Grey Cup. But at the same time, Louis, the short-term goal is to go to Saskatchewan and win that football game in Saskatchewan. And as you well know, Mosaic is a very tough place to play, and they've got to be able to handle the crowd, and they've got to be able to get that first win and get off to a good start.
Out of the new faces on the Ticats, and there are a few of them, there's some, on defense, on offense. Who are you most excited to actually see in a Ticats uniform?
Well, that's hard to say, because we haven't. The guy I like is Leonard, but Leonard's coming back. It's not like he hadn't been here before. I'd like to see him really have one of those really good years. And of course, up front, the defensive lineman that we brought in, Makaya, has got to really play up to his standards. I mean, he's a veteran, been around, I think, 12 or 13 years. But at the same time, he still has a lot of juice left. and I'd like to see him really do a great job for us.
Yeah, Johnson and Teddy. It's going to be interesting, and of course Dylan Wynn. The three up front for two spots. The rotation for both those guys you mentioned are veterans. It's going to be interesting to see that. And you mentioned the secondary. Where Coach said yesterday it doesn't look like Carriel Brooks is going to go. But that secondary, they seem like they're going to be the catalyst when it comes to success for this football team.
Well, that may be so, but the defensive secondary needs to tighten up. In the first couple of preseason games, they were not as good as I expected them to be. Now, Saskatchewan's OC, Jason Moss, he'll have Cody Fajardo ready. So, it's going to be one of those situations where he's going to attack the secondary. And we talked about the front just a moment ago. The front can be a big help if they can get pressure on Fajardo, make him get out of that pocket, and not be able to be comfortable throwing the football. The secondary may look a lot better.
Yeah, and as Micah said, Cody Fajardo, one of those underrated, shifty quarterbacks. He's good on his feet, and the Ticats will have to be ready for it. At the kicking, before we let you go, it looks like the Ticats are going to go with Mike Domagala and Joel Whitford, the way they finished last season at the kicking spot. Just your thoughts on that move and your expectations for the two men.
Well, no one took them out of their position. That was the key. They had guys come in and make their try. Small and Leader and others. Hayes. I think Hayes went to the practice roster, so they have some hope for him down the future. But no one took them out of their position, so we go with them again and hope for the best.
Hope for the best. Yes, indeed. Coach, appreciate you doing this. Thank you so much. It's always great to check in with you.
Thank you, Louie. I'll see you again.
My thanks to Coach Sal for joining me. My thanks to Matt Afinec, and my thanks to you because we could not do this show without your support. We're back tomorrow for the Ticats Audio Network. I'm Louie B. Hoping you have a great day.